Hi, Pastor Justin here again. I hope that you're doing well wherever you are where you're watching this video. But I also know that most of you, some of you, may not be doing well. This past Sunday, in the Sunday school class that I'm a part of, we spent 45 minutes going around our little Zoom call, giving everybody a chance to share how they were doing. And the consensus was that last week was really hard. Some of it was stuff with kids, some of it was stuff with work, some of it was just stuff. But if you're like me, and you felt that way last week, you found yourself overwhelmed, sad, like a weight was on your shoulders. Maybe it was even like pressing on your chest. I'm a pretty optimistic person. I don't often struggle with feelings like this. But this was real. This was something that I felt, and it just was, it was heavy. And I think that might be something that a lot of us are facing. So I want to share just a couple of thoughts with you about how I kind of walked through those feelings last week. You see, I felt that weight, and I felt that pressure, anxiety that was there, and it wouldn't go away. And so I sat down and I prayed. I probably should have prayed a whole lot earlier in the process, but I didn't. So I was feeling those things. So I sat down and I prayed, and I asked God to give me encouragement. I didn't ask Him for strength or wisdom. I wanted to be encouraged. I wanted my soul lifted up. I'm not the kind of person who typically just flips open my Bible and just decides to start reading wherever, but that day I did. For whatever reason, my Bible opened to Psalm 24. I want to read that for you right now. This is a psalm of David. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world and those who dwell therein. For He has founded it upon the seas and established it upon the rivers. Who shall ascend the hill of the Lord, and who shall stand in His holy place? Who has clean hands and a pure heart, who does not lift up his soul to what is false, and does not swear deceitfully? He will receive a blessing from the Lord and righteousness from the God of his salvation. Such is the generation of those who seek Him, who seek the face of the God of Jacob. Lift up your heads, O gates, and be lifted up, O ancient doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord, strong and mighty, the Lord, mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O you gates, and lift them up, O ancient doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory. As I read those verses, and as I thought about them, I realized that what I was facing last week was a result of the fact that I had kept my head down. I had gotten so absorbed in the day-to-day awkwardness of the life that we're leading right now. I got so absorbed in the feelings that I was feeling, the exhaustion, the mental headaches that you get after so many hours of Zoom calls or remote working, or whatever it is that you're facing. I let those things become so large in my mind that I stopped feeling that I serve the King of Glory. I didn't stop believing that God was good, or that God cared, or that God was in control and sovereign over all things. I didn't stop believing those things, but I stopped feeling those things. And taking a moment to read this passage and to hear the psalmist say, lift up your eyes. It really was that simple. Now, it wasn't that simple, but sitting at my desk after reading those verses, I lifted up my eyes and I began to worship God. So if you're out there today and you feel overwhelmed and you feel hopeless or trapped, I want to encourage you to worship God with me right now. I'm not going to sing. That's for your benefit. That wouldn't be good. But I do want to read a passage of Scripture that that lifts up our eyes to who God is. I'm going to read from Psalm 40. The whole chapter is fantastic. The whole chapter lifts up your eyes to who God is, lifts up my soul and my spirit as I think about how great God is. I'm going to start reading in verse 25. This whole chapter is a declaration of God's majesty, of his sovereignty. But in verse 25 it says, "To whom then will you compare me, that I should be like him, says the Holy One? Lift up your eyes on high and see, who created these stars? Who brings out their host by number, calling them by name? By the greatness of his might, and because he is strong in power, not one of them is missing. Why do you say, O Jacob, and speak, O Israel, my way is hidden from the Lord, and my right is disregarded by God? Have you not known? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He does not grow tired or weary, but his understanding is unsearchable. He gives power to the faint, and to him who has no might, he increases strength. Even youths shall faint and be weary, and young men shall fall exhausted. But they who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." These feelings are real. The depression, the exhaustion, the anxiety, the hopelessness. These are things that are real and they hurt. But so is our God. Our God is real. He is here. He is all around us. Our God is present and he cares. If you feel overwhelmed, hopeless, spend some time worshiping our God. Worship through the word. You can sing if you want, but worship our God. When you don't feel like you can go on, lift up your eyes. See the King of Glory. If the isolation is overwhelming, lift up your eyes. God sees you. He knows you. You're not alone. If the exhaustion is painful, lift up your eyes. Worship our God and ask him to renew your strength. Friends, we're in this together. It is so important that we keep in contact with each other. Early on in all this, I saw a meme that was out. It said, hey, check on your extroverted friends. They're not doing okay. A couple weeks later, a very similar meme was out there. It said, check on your introvert friends. They're not okay either. We are born for community. We are designed to be together. But we're also designed to worship God. So check on your friends, check on your neighbors, and lift up your eyes and worship our God. I hope that helps bring a little bit of light into your world today. Thank you.